Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to install a catch can in your Aston Martin V8 Vantage. There's no video out there on how to do it, just written instructions, so I figured I would help everyone out and do a quick video. So anyway, here's the kit. You can find it at redpants.lol, which is great. Check the site out. And yeah, go ahead and buy one of these to prevent oil from going into your intake manifold. So the first thing you want to do is get your kit ready, unpack everything, and what we're going to do first is attach hoses that it came with. And according to the instructions, you want to attach the long hose to the top and the short hose to the bottom. So this right here is the drainage port. This is the top. This is the bottom. It's going to go like kind of down in here. Put the long tube on the top. Let's jam it on there real good. And looking at the finished product, it kind of looks like you want the tube to turn off to the right a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Put this one on, then the bottom one on, and then we zip tie the hoses. Even though they're really tight fit, we got zip ties here to wrap around these right here at these plug joints. So make sure you do that too. We're ready to go. We got this all set up. Let's see it. There we go. The next step is to remove this PCV tube, this one here. It goes into the manifold. You can take a tiny little screwdriver and wedge it in each of these sides, kind of pry it out, and then it'll basically just kind of come off. There we go. Alright. It's off, and if there's any oil in there, obviously dry it out. We just have to remove this part here. It's got to pry both sides, and there we have it. Now, as you can see, there's actually quite a bit of oil in there. And down in there too. So that'll be good to be going to the catch can instead of directly into the engine. Okay, the next step is to remove this bolt here, right here. Apparently it has a spring on it, so hang on to it as you get close. As you get close to removing it. This is the 8mm bolt. It's a hex bolt, so just need a little ratchet to get that taken care of. Okay, now here comes the more difficult part. You got to remove that bolt and that bolt. This is loose now, so you should be able to squeeze your wrench down in there. Remove those two bolts, as those are the bolts that the mounting bracket for the catch can is going to go on, like right there. So you don't have to move the thing too much, just a little bit out of the way is good. Do not disconnect your steering pump hoses, that's a bad idea. So here you can see where I moved the power steering pump to, and once you get a couple of turns, you can actually hand screw these out. They're really long bolts though. They're probably about, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 inches long, so they do take a while to get out. Now that these are out, we're going to put it back in. See these two here? This side up. We're going to re-screw the bolts we just took out. We're going to re-screw the bolts we just took out right back in there. One thing to remember to do is to do not over tighten these bolts. They got these rubber things in here that if you start to feel any sort of tension, just, forget about it.
Not sure what happened to the sound on this video, but anyway, the next step is going to be to put the power steering pump back where it was and then re-bolt that back in place by pinching the bracket together and reinstalling the bolt. Then after that, what we're going to do is install the catch can onto the silver mounting bracket you see there. Pretty straightforward, but that's the next step. Okay, it's time to install the catch can by putting the large hose on top of this set of 3 hoses and the small hose underneath that. It should just snap right in, And the bottom one seemed to go in just fine, and then the top one, since it's a little more adjustable, you can just pop that in too. Here we see why we didn't want to zip tie our hoses yet, because we actually did not have enough space to mount the can to the bracket. There's some holes on the right side, and we need to be able to undo the hoses in order to do that. So as you can see here, I'm about half an inch short, and that is obviously a big problem. So anyway, off to undo the zip ties and reconnect the hoses.
Okay, so for mine, to get it lined up properly for the bracket, it looks like I had to have just a little bit of space here, which is fine. The thing goes out to like here anyway. So I'm going to zip tie close to the end again and get it bolted in. So you got some hex nuts with an Allen wrench on one side and a 10mm bolt on the other. Hold the Allen wrench, bolt it in. Should be super easy from this point forward. Okay, now that we're good to go there, we're all lined up. The last part is to just put these 3 bolts on under here. And that's pretty much it. Okay, we're all installed. I only did 2 bolts. This thing is super freaking sturdy. Super sturdy. You can do 3 if you want. I didn't really feel like it. These bolts are a huge pain in the butt. Used my 4mm hex and 10mm extended hex socket and a 4mm Allen wrench key to hold it in place, and just kind of twisted them opposite each other. The oil coming out of there that's trapped in the air will get caught in here, and that goes in there. Thanks for watching. Got any questions? Check out redpants.lol. I was not paid to do this. I bought this with my own money. There's just not a video out there, so I figured I would share my experience installing this. Thanks again. It's been about 6 months actually, and it's time to drain the catch can. So I figured if I show you how to install it, I can show you how easy it is to drain as well. So what you're going to need is a 10mm opening wrench, smallish screwdriver, flat head, and a 4mm Allen wrench. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is get this connection off. All you got to do is pinch on the sides, the ribbed edges, pinch and pull, and that's it. Okay, 10mm wrench to hold the nut while you use the 4mm Allen wrench to loosen it up. It's a little pain in the butt to get started, but just hold it, and then with the wrench, the Allen wrench, just kind of go clockwise. Or once you start to get them kind of loose, it's actually really easy to take a 10mm socket wrench and just use that to hold this thing in, and then you can just kind of crank away at it. Seems to go a lot quicker that way rather than trying to hold it in place with the wrench. Off. Make sure you're very careful not to drop your Allen wrench through the car. Don't ask me how I know about that. But anyway, once you do, you can pinch this off. You push the 2 things. Okay, now that you got the thing removed, grab a jar of some sort and a 6mm hex bolt. Hex wrench, whatever you want to call it. Turn to the left and get ready to pour. So let's see how much we got in here. And this is after probably about, I don't know, 3,000 miles of driving roughly. So it's not a lot of oil, but it definitely 50 milliliters of oil that has not gone. And I haven't really been driving that much, and when I do drive, it's not very fast or spirited. So anyway, tighten this back on and just put it back on the same way we did before. I think I'm only going to do 1 screw though instead of 2 because it seems to hold it in place really well. So anyway, that's that, and thanks for watching.